Anyway, Chris Hunlow, man, so good to see you. This is
Good to see
awesome
you,
to
my
share
friend.
the table and space and conversation.
Yeah.
We've known each other 15 years or so, but it's been 20 years since I've seen you in the flesh. And, this podcast is a new thing for me, Enter the Unknown and diving into like adventure. I've always been an adventurer and I love adventure. And a story that I like to tell people that I think is really cool and really inspirational is actually your story. And it's how we met. And it's, 15-ish years ago when I lived in Maui and I was flying tandems. You're also a tandem pilot, paragliding, and you came out there with your whole damn fam, your wife and your 3 kids, and you were set up in this giant tent and like
It was a nice tent.
living the life. Tell me a little bit about that story and like the details of how you decided to do that and what it was like.
Midlife crisis number 2, I think that was. That was. I think it's all been started when I heard I was having a kid. Like you're trying to figure out who you are as a person or what you're supposed to do and what your career is supposed to be and all this stuff. And
Mhm.
I was a hippie little kid when I met my girl, and we were snowboarding bums. And then when we were having a baby, you have to all of a sudden get a job. And
Yeah,
so
buckle down.
my wife's sisters cornered me, made me get a mortgage job at a bank. So anyway, so I got a job.
Hmm.
And after a while, you realize like, this can't be it. This can't be what I'm teaching my kids. This can't be the thing. Midlife crisis number 1, we ran away to Nepal and we sold everything, kind of took everybody out there. Wasn't a tent, and actually it was a really nice house, had flushing toilets and everything, but it was $300 a month.
Wow.
And I started becoming a paraglider pilot out there.
In
realized
Boca?
in Boca.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And that's when I was like, this is what I should be doing. This is my real calling. I want to be doing this. And so I came back to Salt Lake City after a while of doing that and started a business, Nice Guy Adventures. It was kind of weird. So I was looking for more of not just a seasonal, more of a yearling. That's when I came to Maui and met you. I didn't know what was going on there, the scene.
Yeah.
Dexter was my original instructor. He was the guy that ran the school there. And so
Okay.
had the invite from
Shout
him
out
to
to
come
Dexter
do.
Clearwater.
Shout out.
He taught you to fly.
Originally in 1998, he was my
Whoa.
OG instructor.
Wow. Throwback.
Yeah. And so I thought that was really poetic where I was coming back to work tandems for him. And so I wanted to be just a tandem bum. And sure enough, we get there, and what do? They closed the road.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
I had to get a job serving tables, and I'm in the tent and I'm telling my wife how this is it. There's something here for us. We're going to let Maui speak to us.
Yeah.
And she's like, she told me we're leaving. And so we kind of spent, I don't know, 6 months there.
Seemed like, one season kind of, yeah.
I think right when we were starting to get our groove there, we came back. She came back to Utah. And of course I chased her back, followed her, and that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
it was a good, necessary moment in our life. We did learn how to garden. Meeting you was amazing because that was the lifestyle I was aiming for. You know what I mean? As far as this guy he was with his shirt off, digging dirt every day, planting different trees, doing something different. And we were kind of living with you on this. It wasn't a compound, but it was just a big property with just all natural,
almost
kind
like
of
a
thing.
community. Yeah, there was a bunch of little ohanas, big gardens. I was growing a ton of food, and I remember we'd go fly in the morning, and you'd come over with the kids, and they'd be like, "We want to be on the farm." And I'd be like, "Okay, you got to dig this ditch for me."
And they loved it for a minute.
They did.
Yeah, no, actually, that was really good for our whole family, having to work a little harder, be humble, be in the tent.
Yeah.
No bathroom. And then also when we were on your property, it was kind of like, okay, we're guests here. We got to it was just
earn your keep, son.
Exactly. It was kind of old school on the prairie. I enjoyed a lot of it. And I think my wife enjoyed the first 3 months of it. And,
How old were your kids then? Your 3 kids?
To get exact, I would have to really look, but I'm thinking 10 and 9 were the 2 older ones, and then 6 or 7 was Leo.
Wow. So all 3 were under 10, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Came out and did the season in Maui. And then, we should tell people it's not just like a tent. And remind me about this tent. It was this beefy, it wasn't a Kodiak. It was a monster.
Bare Bones was the name of the
Bare
maker,
Bones,
and it was definitely a survival tent or a disaster survival tent.
Yeah, like apocalypse tent.
Designed for this.
Yeah.
You can hang a hammock on the poles. It was so strong.
Yeah.
It was big enough for a whole family of 5.
Family of 5.
We found that so I was kind of linked up with Goal Zero, being they were right in our backyard, and we were paraglider pilots flying with the sun, la, la, la. They were sharing a building factory with this Bare Bones, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna live with my family, and man, we're just gonna move the tent around. We're gonna find out where we're gonna
Going to
live. We're
Hawaii.
gonna find a plot of land, and we're gonna go and tend it.
Yeah.
And we did it. We were like, we're gonna do it, and we brought a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
a lot of solar power crock pots, and so we didn't really rough it. When I tell people I was in a tent, I show them the picture later, and they're like, it took us 3 hours to set up said tent. You know what I mean? It was a fortress. So. Definitely saved us because those monsoons. There was so much rain at that place that
the high
I would
country.
go out. There was 2 or 3 inches, and there was nothing in the tent. There was 2 or 3 inches outside,
bone dry.
So it was a really good. That was a great experience for me. Awesome tent.
Shout out to the Bare Bones guys.
Shout out to the Bare Bones guys for sure.
They still going?
They're more of tools and like the accessories for tents now.
Okay.
I think what happened is they might have even got a government contract where they sold that plan to them, so they can't really sell that anymore. It's a really good disaster tent. Like if you set it up, it'll last for literally 6 months in the hardest environments.
That's cool. They probably made bank on that, some kind of patent to the tech or whatever.
I hope so. It was a legit tent.
Yeah.
So.
What a cool journey, man. And so Nice Sky Adventures is still a thing? Is that business still going? You still doing tandem? Still doing any of that?
So no is the shortest, quickest answer. For the first time, I was running it for a long time and had a great time. We've never had an incident. And, for the first time, we had something happen. A pilot passed. And it took all the fun and all the love and all the everything. It took everything out of me. So without the love behind that, was never a money-making company as far as, it was just being in the environment of paragliding. And so I kind of quit for a year. And then once I, in my mind, quit, it was a definite, I don't want to go back to that. And since I'm never going to, if you're not that much passionate into it, you're not 100%. So I wasn't going to do that again if I wasn't 100%. So realized through that, though, we were doing the groups in Colombia, we were doing the groups, now in Ecuador. I really enjoy the environment. So now I'm just going to throw that environment to bring my friends to instead of actually like, being the pilot does the dance. I'm going to set the music so every pilot can come and dance. And so that's really, I'm starting that shift. That's what it's been going on for the last 3 or 4 years.
Amazing. So you still own the house at Point of the Mountain in Draper, Utah,
sold it,
which is like paragliding epicenter of the United States.
That's what's really hard with the life right now. I love my life in Utah. I'm starting this life in Ecuador. I love that life. Luckily, there's seasons, and so when one season gets bad, I get to run to the other. But I still love Utah. I still love the backyard. All the friends still come over. So
such an inspiration, man. I loved reading your brief bio and the phrase or term adventure entrepreneur. I said, wow, I need a new business card because this is my dream goal, self-titling process. Because I'm very much an entrepreneur, right? I've had a bunch of different businesses. I had a kombucha company and a CBD company, and now I got a nicotine toothpick company. Shout out to Stokes Nicotine Toothpicks, best organic toothpicks in the world. Enter the promo code, enter the unknown for 20% off your first order. And you now have, is it the Coconut Beach Hotel?
It is the Coconut Beach Hotel.
Coconut Beach Hotel. Check it out. And it's like basically a paragliding hotel. Tell me all about it. I want to go. I want to learn.
So it's definitely morphed into, there was an experience I had where, I saw this couple that had this house that they hosted everybody to have really safe adventures, parties, get-togethers, fly-ins, that kind of thing. And I always thought, I want that. So really in Maui, I was kind of looking for that. I was looking for that everywhere. But a friend, Alicia, thank you, Alicia, pointed me towards Ecuador, and she had a house we were going to go look at. So 2020, tickets were cheap. No one was traveling.
COVID time.
So we were like, we booked it out to Ecuador and found this beach town, Canoa. It turns out it's a surf town that's been a hang gliding town for like 30 years. It's a small paragliding town because there's not that many people.
Interesting.
And
kind of hidden gem.
And there's a little ridge, but then now that the gliders have gotten so better, you can go from ridge to ridge to ridge. And now you've got like XC cross country with no turns. I mean,
you can link it up.
20 or 30 miles of linking different cliff bands, and it's just getting bigger and bigger as people are going. So we kind of fell into this place when they had a big earthquake in 2016. We were going to go there. But then after that, we were like, it just kept going back and forth. So we had Ecuador on the radar. we were staying with this person that had this amazing hotel, a little boutique hotel,
Mm-hmm.
but we were staying there and just fall in love. Their plant life, they were right on the ocean. It was
Mm-hmm.
just a dream. So I'm like, I don't want to buy the house that we were coming to look at, even if it was the best deal in the world. I want to buy this. I
Yeah.
want this. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we were kind of looking around. We came back in 2021. Actually, I came back after that with Josh Waldrop. I don't know. Shout out to Waldrop.
Mm-hmm.
He's an amazing pilot, OG, and he was looking for something because he had just sold his property in California. So we drove from the southern tip of the coast all the way to the northern. We knew we wanted ocean, so we just drove the whole coastline of Ecuador, thinking, let's find if that beach town is this cool, we got to find a better one. And really, we didn't. So we ended up thinking that Canoa is the one. So went back the next year with the wife and said, we're going to buy a house. We're going to buy a vacation house or something like this.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll Airbnb it when we're not using it.
Yep.
And we put an offer on one, and sure enough, like it's been on the market for a year, and somebody else came out and said, "Well, we want full price." And so I thought it was just a gimmick. We let it go,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just really sad. It was I thought it was a really nice house, really beautiful. We rented it for like a month, and so we loved it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was at that hotel that I loved at a poker game, and the guy who owned the hotel, which is the Coconut, and he owned it, and his friend was like, "Why don't you buy my friend's hotel?" And so I was like, "Well, ha ha ha! If I win, I'll buy the hotel but I want it for your price."
Right. Yeah.
And so we were just all kind of drinking a little bit and everything. So I'm just being loud, and I'm like, "I'm going to buy your hotel. Ha ha! If it's anything like this." And he's like, "It's bigger than this. Everything's better or not better." So it turns out I go home that night and I tell my wife, I think we just bought a hotel. We go check it out the next day, and it's a decrepit, not decrepit, actually, that's a wrong word, but it's been, hasn't been really attended to for 5 years before that. The friends had moved on.
Yeah.
He lived in Colombia now.
At the time, it was run down.
It was run down.
Yeah.
So, we said yes. We walked on the property. We saw these coconut trees. We saw the beach. We were just like, yes, yes, yes. And then I heard the price, and I was like, yes, 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 yes. So we spent that whole, it was like 9 months getting all the paperwork in order, getting everything in order,
Mm-hmm.
getting 7 of their friends to sign the piece of paper and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, it was March 23rd, and we closed on it. And I'm like, all right, we're going to go spend the night. This is great. We moved in. We had all our stuff. And I couldn't sleep there. I went back to my buddy's hotel, checked out, and we spent that whole year just kind of dumping everything we had into it, just from the bottom up, new septic, sewer, water, systems, electric, all that stuff. So
wow.
3 years now into it, we've got it to where we love it. We still have a few more things we want to do with it, but we've been throwing the fly-ins. And so this is where the idea is we don't run it like a hotel where you can rent per room. We just have a group event. So if you're 10 to 20 people, you come with your group, and you've got a safe space. We've got the cooks, we've got the drivers, we've got the everything else. So you just kind of bring your group and do your thing, whether it's surfing,
awesome.
Yoga, medicine, flying.
As like a retreat location.
It's a retreat location. And it is it's far enough away from everything. Now, I kind of messed it up by putting Wi-Fi everywhere, but we could turn that off. But before that, there wasn't any Wi-Fi. There was just sometimes the power would go out, and it was a small little beach town. So really has that vibe of when you go there, you kind of unplug. And so I think that's what I was looking for in Maui. That's what I was looking for. That's what I found in Nepal. That's what I'm like, this is the energy I want.
Yeah.
And I know that there's other people that are kind of stuck like me in jobs where they're like, you know what, I'm doing everything, but I'm not, I don't feel like I'm full. I'm eating this meal and I'm not full.
Yeah.
So, a couple of weeks there where you unplug and you get back in the water and you get back on the sand, and there's no big city. You have to struggle to figure out which lunch places open that day. It's a pretty cool little going back to the I think Costa Rica in the 80s kind of vibe. So.
Yeah, amazing. Like pre-big development, no gentrification, certainly no Whole Foods, and Ecuador uses the dollar. Is that
they
right?
do, yeah. So a lot of the stuff, it was like, wait, I thought they spoke a lot of English, but they don't.
Depends where you are in the country, I suppose. Yeah.
Quito, definitely on the Quito. There's higher elevation, 3 million people. There's a lot more.
Huge.
It all works. So it's so crazy. Like the traffic works, the plumbing works, everybody's got water. So it's pretty
Doesn't
impressive.
feel third world.
Oh, not at all.
Yeah.
I think it's a rumor they spread to make us stay out of there. But there are places when you drive 2 hours out of Quito when you're back to volcanoes and you've got indigenous, and you got people living the old school life, Andy's
Mhm.
life,
Mhm. Mhm.
and literally like living off of alpaca,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So that exists, but in
Yeah.
the corners of,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so the property itself is a proper paragliding site. You can launch and land there.
So you can launch in the hill behind us. We've got a
Okay.
nice little launch behind us,
Nice.
and anywhere you come from in any of these other, there's like 4 or 5 different launches. You
Yeah.
can make it back to the beach.
Yeah.
We have built a nice little shade tent that's strong enough for a dance floor, so we can come land right on top of the platform,
Yeah.
kick our shoes off, land in the sand, kite for a while, do whatever we want, hang out on the
Yeah.
beach. It's another 20 steps to your room or the pool.
Oh, awesome.
So we've been having, the fly-ins have been amazing, and the more people that we get there, we're kind of just finding out it's kiting mecca,
Yeah.
it's beach soaring mecca.
Yeah. Yep.
Speed flyers are having a little good time. So
Oh, great.
45 minutes from us, there's this unknown XC potential
Okay.
town called Chone,
And
and
like kind of mountain site.
mountain site, little hills like Columbia, like
Yeah.
not like huge tall mountains,
Uh-huh.
but the clouds and the birds are just like Columbia.
Yeah.
So you can map it out. We've gone there a couple
Zocalitos.
times and gotten up and flown for, a couple hours, but I
Great.
don't know where to go from there. So
Yeah, yeah. It's gonna take some work, and
Mhm.
you're gonna have to try and test it out a little bit. You're gonna land out a
Yeah.
few times, I'm sure.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's exciting. So this was the third year of your flying?
Actually, so we a
Or
friend the
when
friend
did you
that
do
owned the
it?
hotel, it's like it'll be the 5th year. The friend that owned the hotel started it,
Okay.
and then
Before you
so we had it at his hotel the first 2 years,
got it.
and then he's like, "Now that you've got a place, you do it." So we've
Yeah,
been
take it over.
kind of throwing it at the hotel, but we
Yeah.
kind of have so many people that we share with our hotel, the neighbors, the next hotel. We've got kind of the whole town filled up
Cool.
during that time.
So it's starting to become like a very pilot-centric community. It's gonna know
It
it's
really like
in 20 years it'll be Iquique.
could be. I mean, Akike is special in its own. So this is special. Now I think it's special because the hang gliders have been coming back for 30 years.
Yeah.
And I'm really trying to find and tap into kind of what they see. Like what is it that you guys are so attracted to that you come back? I've been a lot of places, and this place isn't like, wow, the air though
Mm-hmm.
is the smoothest air that I've
Yeah.
ever flown anywhere.
Yeah.
Coastal ridge flying. Torrey's got nothing. Torrey's almost boring smooth. This
Torrey
is
Pines in
boring
California.
smooth with boost to cloud base.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, Torrey Pines, California,
Yeah.
was in my mind like the perfect place to fly, like
Yeah.
beauty wise, ease wise. This place is way better.
Okay. Tell me more about the topography and the meteorology. You're on the Pacific coast. Is it like trade winds there? Is there a season, or tell me more?
There's definitely a season, because in January, February, it starts switching to come from the land instead of the sea. So therefore the paragliding goes away in that
Okay.
area.
Yep.
But then people go out into the Amazon or out in Quito and fly the
Mhm.
mountains, that whole range there. I
Mhm.
guess many years ago they had a paragliding competition there, but
Hmm.
I wish I knew the topography better. But as far as coastline goes, we are perfectly set. All these ridges are perfectly set up right in the west of the wind. This region of Ecuador doesn't really get huge trade winds. It has kind of a block, and so we just
Mhm.
have a consistent, steady wind
Nice.
most of the year.
Mhm.
The February is rainy, March is rainy, but that's the good surf season.
Great.
And so
Is there a break in front of your spot?
right in front.
Come
So
on.
it was a surf school, before I had it.
Wow.
So very good beginner to intermediate waves,
Mhm.
long breaks, sets 5, 6 in a row.
Oh, amazing. Good longboarding.
A friend that owns a hotel will go out in his longboard and paddle over and then come see me and be like, "Hey, Chris, come out and play." And we'll go out and hang out. And
Oh,
we have 2
dreamy.
rivers kind of around the town. So we can stand up paddleboard on the rivers and just kind of calm water. Or we
Mhm.
go out in the ocean where it's, the wave pool and go
Mhm.
get beat up in the wave pool.
Is there a big Ecuadorian national paragliding community? Like, or are there all
When we say
Ecuadorians that fly?
big, the heart is huge. They love flying. They love anyone who flies.
Mhm.
There's a dedicated group of people that fly.
Mhm.
There's tandem operations. There's this
Oh,
thing.
there is.
But I'd say, and I'm not, I don't know where the information is, but there's less than 100 really good commercial pilots
Oh,
there.
interesting.
Whereas sometimes there's 101 site in the U.S.
Yeah. Yeah.
But maybe that's exaggeration. But
Yeah.
it is anywhere you go. If you have a backpack and you're a paraglider, you're welcome to their house.
Yeah.
You're in their car. They're helping you on launch.
Mhm.
I mean, it's a very welcoming community. And there's a few people there that have the government's ear. So if we go in there and say, hey, they want tourism, of course, and
Mm-hmm.
small towns that are tourism based would
Mm-hmm.
love an activity. So
Mm-hmm.
these guys have opened probably 9 or 10 different launch sites that have
Yeah.
potential to attract a competition size group,
Yeah.
which would change the life of. We've seen what it did at Roldeo, Colombia,
Yeah, of
and
course.
what it's done in Valle de Bravo, Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's good or bad isn't for us to say. It's for the locals. They're saying that they want to build something that attracts people like that,
Yeah.
and cool, if they do, then I'm one of those people.
Is there a national organization there?
Yes, there is. It's not run with.
Pretty
Oof,
rough, it
I
sounds.
say I don't know anything about it, but from
Yeah.
what I hear is it's a financial corporation that is running that side of it, and so
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to speak any bad things about any financial corporations in South
Right.
America.
Right.
They're all good, probably.
Yeah.
I don't want
Definitely.
to get in anybody's way.
Everything's above board.
Everything's above board.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
most likely.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of pilots that just do whatever the heck they want, and so
Yep.
but
Yep.
they do show up to like a site, and
Mm-hmm.
there's usually a tandem organization there that is the boss.
Yeah.
I don't know
Makes
the
sense.
paperwork that goes on
Club.
between the club.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And like for our launch, we have a El Nido is a privately owned launch by a group of hang glider and paraglider pilots. And there's an annual membership fee that we just chip in to make sure that the AstroTurf is maintained. There's a
Yeah.
little porta potty up there. The road is very steep, so
Little
we get that
maintenance.
maintained.
Yeah.
Um, so that's the extent of the club. They bought it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to fly it, you
Mm-hmm.
chip in and take care of it.
So do they fly tandems in multiple places?
Oh yeah.
Like lots of
Every
places.
region of, so that's why Ecuador is amazing. I mean, they've got, you've got the Galapagos, you've got the ocean, you've got the Andes, you've got the mountains, you've got the Amazon, you've
Mm-hmm.
got all these
Mm-hmm.
different places, and they do paraglide everywhere that I've just mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
So our first year, I didn't do much traveling outside of the coast. I was aiming for the coast, but this last year we went outside of Quito a couple hours and just flew some just amazing, spectacular scenery, and the air was just it was good. We were in not the best time of the season, but
Mm-hmm.
as good as it is anywhere paragliding, and just being
Mm-hmm.
able to travel everywhere you go in 2 hour spurts, there's some beautiful landscape to fly.
Yeah.
Now there's real mountains, there's stuff that's kind of unexplored, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm imagining, but there are also tandem operations in 10 or more of the big provinces that you'll see it advertised when you
Mm-hmm.
get out there. Guayaquil's
Mm-hmm.
huge for that. It's on the
Mm-hmm.
coast as well. So you land at the
Mm-hmm.
airport, you see paragliding everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So
So the days at Point of the Mountain seem like they're numbered.
the
Nice
cold days
guys
are
no
numbered.
longer functional. You're a full empty nester now? All the kids are out?
I got Leah is still at home. She's
Okay.
20, but she's in
Yep.
school. She knows
Yep. She's in
she's
school.
sponsored while she's in school. So
Yep.
she's milking that as long as she can,
Yep.
probably.
Don't blame
And
her. Wish I could too.
we'll keep the house at the Point, but we'll probably rent it out, or
Yeah.
so we can come back. And
Yep.
Zayden's got his house, Haley's got her house, and so we can come back and visit them,
Yep.
or they can come visit us, is what we're trying to encourage.
Awesome. Right.
Yeah. This is one great spot, but like I say,
Mhm.
seasonal. So if
Mhm.
we find maybe one or two, it'll be great to have those in rotation to
Yep.
say, okay, we've got Utah, summer times. I love Utah. Also
Mhm.
need a couple months during the good winter.
Yep.
February is usually amazing for winter here. And so
Usually. Not this year.
usually, I know.
Yeah.
So I had to throw that in there, but I don't know. It's constantly trying to relearn and discover, and then see what the world throws against you to stop you, and then
Mhm. Mhm.
readjust and keep going forward.
Mhm. So are you still practicing real estate here in the States? Hunlow Homes? Is that still
Hunlow Homes,
going?
yeah. So that's what's fun in the hotel. It's not the hotel's not making enough money.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I started with loans, back
Uh-huh.
in when my wife and her sisters cornered me and
Yeah.
got me the intervention.
Mortgage strategist.
And then ended up having to do the real estate because I was giving too much advice away, and you had to be licensed for it. So I was
Really?
getting
Yeah.
licensed for it, and I'm like, wait a minute, they pay you for this. So yeah, I've been doing that since I got back from Maui. Really,
Mhm.
when I went to Maui again, I was trying to quit everything and doing the tandem, but
Mhm.
the world told me to go back, and so
Mhm.
I reopened the brokerage, so Hunlow Homes.
Mhm.
And really my thing was I knew how to get the loans, and
Mhm.
so when I had my friends be like, oh, I can never buy a house, I'm like, yeah, you can.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so really just helping like the whole Point of the Mountain is filled up with a lot of my friends and
Mhm.
family and
Mhm.
stuff that didn't know how to get a house or whatever. So
Mhm.
I'm doing that. I do still run tours with Colombia, and it's
Mm,
not under nice guy anymore, but it's still, my passion is still around paragliding, so I've got to keep that in the life.
mm-hmm.
But I do think if I can create a space for a person to feel as free as I did when I was hanging out at your house, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Then I would love to be as good of a host as you. So
Yeah, man.
yeah,
That's the fire. That's the spirit. That's the chi, you know?
it is.
Something I'm really interested in, I've been talking to people about is how you find that balance in life when you do something that for you is normal, paragliding. You've been doing it 30 years, right? You love it and it doesn't seem that dangerous to you. But to most of the outside world, like that's pretty dangerous, right? And you've got a family and you've got a mortgage and you've got kids and like trying to find that balance. And so like you've been in it for a long time, so it's normalized for you. But how do you like how do you find harmony within that risk? You know, like how do you value that risk assessment? You know, like putting everything up to put the kids in a tent so you can paraglide full time. Most people say, "You're fucking crazy, man. Like, no way. I can't believe you're gonna do that." But then like you did it and it was hard and everything worked out. And now you're in an amazing place. You know, like I'm about to have kids, right? And so
Hmm.
I'm kind of asking all these people that I know that have been successful and gone through these processes, like, how do you do it,
Well,
man? Where do you
well,
get that
I'll
chi from?
tell you, I honestly had thought it would play out differently than it did. So when I've
Yeah.
gone all in, you expect it to work. And when it doesn't work, you pivot and adjust to just scrambling to make sure that the kids don't notice. The wife,
Ah.
if you can, the wife doesn't notice, but she notices everything. And for me, that's what it was. I don't know what it is for other people, but for me, uh, I wanted the kids to look up to Papa, you know,
Mm, mhm.
and I thought paragliding was cool. I thought running this business, I thought I thought all this stuff was cool. And I was like,
Yeah.
and really, you know, with food, we're worried about what's going on with food. So I was like, I got to learn how to grow food, kids. Like
Yeah.
I'm a city boy. Like we had to learn all this stuff from scratch. So
Apocalypse is coming.
yeah, I mean, Nepal was a big eye opener, but Maui was really a really good eye opener because especially how you were living and how people were living. I mean, it was
Mm.
like simple and pure and
Yeah.
good.
Mhm,
And I
mhm.
was gluttonous and fat. And so I totally appreciated that time there that showed me that life. And wherever you are, you're going to be the same. So it doesn't, Maui's not going to change you. You know, Ecuador's not going to change you. You've got to
Mhm.
figure out how to be you.
Mm,
But then when you're you can put that in the environment. So if I can
mm.
be you in Ecuador, I'll be even better. But
Yeah.
working towards that kind of stuff is really, you have a goal, you think it's going to work. And I thought the lifestyle was more important than the money. And so I
Mhm,
gave up on the mortgages to get the lifestyle to teach the kids
mhm, mhm,
that. And then I didn't realize it was going to be hard, and it was.
mhm,
And
mhm,
girls like bathrooms. And it's like, I didn't
mhm,
know all this stuff until you go through it. And so
mhm, mhm,
you find this out, and you pivot and you adjust. You don't do that again. She
mhm,
didn't let me live in a
mhm.
tent a second time. So, you know, that
Not yet. There's
not yet.
still
Oh, no,
time.
we're going back. Yeah, there's full circles going on. So we're back to the life where we want to tent for months at a time again.
Yeah.
And it's a little easier when we don't have the stress of, are the kids cold? Are they hungry? Are they, you know, that kind of thing. And really, we were at zero at one point in the tent there when it was raining and I had no work, and it was, you know, I'm sitting there
Wow.
wondering, am I doing a good thing? There was time
Yeah.
in Nepal when we were hiking and the kids got leeches on their legs, and I'm like running, we're stuck in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, what am I doing? You know, there's
Yeah.
a lot of times where I'm 100% lucky that the wife did say yes to these adventures, because
Yeah.
again, that is the secret to my success, is she said yes every single
Mm.
time,
Powerful partnership.
and which gives me the confidence to be able to try these things, you know, and it hasn't worked. A lot of these things haven't worked the way I thought it would. I should say it worked how they were supposed to, but you know, um, uh, the Hawaii thing, again, I thought we were going to build a life there and stay there and live on the island because I couldn't stand the mainland anymore. And
Mhm,
and it,
mhm,
it turns out that might be my dream, but it might not be everybody else's dream. So when
mhm,
you're
mhm,
with a community, you've got to consider what's best for the community.
mhm.
And so coming back, getting the kids back into a school, they graduated high school. You know, they did
Yep.
they were homeschooled for a lot of these years, and so they went to a real high school, and they liked that. And I don't know how much I did, but they're doing great. Everybody's great. Everybody wants different things, and I think that's the balance. You try to
Yeah.
figure out, what do you want that's not going to tilt them over the edge,
Yeah.
and what can you give to them that takes away something they want. And so
Mhm,
if you can
mhm,
keep doing those things, then the years will keep coming if they keep coming, and then next thing you know, you've got the adventures we just talked about,
mhm.
because you have to keep going.
Yeah.
I had to build it back in Utah. You know, I had
Mhm,
to. We're building it right now in Ecuador. Maybe in
mhm,
10 years it'll be a party, and everybody will be like, "Man, it looks so nice."
mhm,
But
mhm.
right now it's a lot of work. I'm learning Spanish. I'm learning construction. I'm learning
I bet.
fishing. I'm
Yeah.
learning everything.
Yeah, you're
So,
an electrician now, you're a plumber
exactly.
now,
And
a housekeeper.
I learned so much more things there where they don't have all the resources that we have here.
Yeah, totally.
And
Can't
so
just
it's,
zip down to Lowe's and get a
mm,
new whatever.
nope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I sure miss crazy glue and little simple things like this.
Oh, I bet. What a wild transition, man. That's so cool. I love your tenacity, the going all in, that fuck yeah spirit, that mentality. It's super powerful. Decision making be so hard. I was talking on a podcast about analysis paralysis, and the more you look at something, the less likely you are to commit and do the thing, and really diving in full steam into the deep end like that, because if it's not a fuck yes, it's a no. Right. And
Mhm.
I heard a quote recently that I really like that I'm trying to remember as I'm going through some kind of shifts in my life. And, I'm always juggling like 15 different careers and pivoting and ping ponging from one thing to the next. But you can fail at your backup plan too. And just because plan A doesn't work doesn't mean plan B is going to work either. And so, like, having that spirit, that drive, that fire, that tenacity, and just like going for it, like, I really appreciate that, because I find so many people who have more risk aversion aren't willing to like see the beauty and manifestation, that power that you have within yourself to actualize whatever you want. And it's like, that seems like such a far-fetched reality that you're gonna buy a hotel in Ecuador and create your own paragliding business, and then all of a sudden you're like living the dream with your wife, and doing the thing. But
It wasn't papered first. That's for sure.
yeah, exactly. And so I think a lot of people could really gain from that. I certainly find you the inspiration. I think it's really cool.
Well, that's amazing you say that because that's exactly where I get my inspiration was people like you or you specifically. Like literally, like you were in the shape of your life. You knew what you've told me one time to go get you something to cook. And I went, looked at the garden. I'm like, how do you know what things are? They're the tops of them. You can't see, there's no markers in the garden. And so that was my first clue. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so lost that I don't even know what a carrot looks like or
Yeah.
whatever we were looking for at the time.
Yeah.
And so that really helped me, pay more attention, especially to food and that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yep.
So I owe you a lot.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
And I would say, the tenacity, like if you look at my dad and myself, we're definitely different. But I do think one of the quotes, and I'm going to mess it up, but it basically kind of says that, the learned are prepared perfectly for a world that no longer exists.
Mm.
The learners will inherit their earth.
Mm-hmm.
Something towards the effect where I will never be prepared enough. I
Yeah.
will never know everything. I'll
Yep.
never, there's always something to learn. So all I got to do is be ready,
Mm-hmm.
make sure that I'm up, my shoes are tied, and I'm ready to go when something comes at me,
Mhm.
and then boom, I can catch it.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I think that's really what, if I could say anything to a young father or anything, you don't even need this, but just stay ready
Yeah.
because you don't know when the opportunity is going to come. It's never going to be on your timing. You're going to say, you're going to have a perfect plan. You're going to have it all on paper. I've had it
Yep.
on paper so perfect.
Mhm.
My dad's an accountant. I knew how to do everything. It never goes to plan.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so being able to adjust a plan and always consider the people in your plan.
Mhm.
And I hope it'll all work out, but I think it all will work out again because
Yeah.
you take care of them when they need it. They take
Mhm.
care of you when you need it.
Mhm.
Um, but at the same time, I think all of us kind of are like, especially you too, is like, I don't want to count on anybody. I want to make sure they can count on me.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
there's a little responsibility in there that you got to kind of step it up a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you got to take responsibility for everything in your own life. You can't just allow faith to give you this predetermined destiny that it's all going to work out
Yeah.
because the universe has mysterious ways, and
It's
the
all
Lord
going to
has a
work out
plan for
because
all
you
of
don't
us.
give up. That's
Yeah.
why it's going to work out.
Yeah.
That's,
Mhm.
that's the
Mhm.
only way it's going to work out is it's on you.
Mhm.
The biggest thing that I think too is just when you were showing me different things is be engaged in something, be involved in something because then you don't think about your back hurts or how hot it is or how you're in that garden for 7-8 hours in the Maui sun.
Yeah.
Um,
Just for a handful of beets.
yeah. I remember the other thing. We had a whole year of growing, and I think we had one dinner with quinoa, and it was like the whole plot of land that we
Mhm.
used for one dinner. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is
Yeah.
going to be
Yeah.
harder than I thought.
Oh,
So
the most laborious task is the winnowing of the quinoa. where you have to shake the dried husk off of the quinoa. And so it's like you shake it out, and they do a similar thing with rice where the dried
Mm-hmm.
husk has to like fly in the air. Do it over and over and over and over again, dozens of times, just to get, a couple cups of the dried quinoa. And if some of the husk is left over in there, it ends up being bitter and tastes terrible anyway, which happened like 9 times out of 10.
I remember watching you hippies do your thing, and I was like, man, what is it? But
Yeah,
now I
yeah,
want it even more. I want
yeah,
to know those skills. I want to do
yeah.
those things. And being in a
Good
place
old
like
days of no
Ecuador where it's,
shoes and no shirt and long hair, man.
yeah, yeah, you were. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Speaking out, shout out. Trista says hi.
Oh, so much love to her too. Those are good times back then, wonderful memories. The planning and having everything with this like, rational mind where you try and have your course plotted in a way so that you're safe and you're being rational, and we're not going to make mistakes. We're going to do it this way. And like, I tend to be like that. I'm very like A-type in that way. And now I'm in a phase in my life where I'm really planning out the foundation of my family, because I'm
Mhm.
getting married this year. And once we're married, well, then we're going to get pregnant. And okay, the way I am is I'm looking at, okay, you can only conceive for like 48 hours of your window and your ovulation schedule for the woman, my partner. And so we're now looking at the calendar of the days of like, okay, if we get pregnant on this day, it means that you'll have your baby essentially like at this time, and like, where are we going to live at that time? And we want to have 3 kids. Okay. So then you look at the ovulation calendar 18 months out, and then the next kid at this time. And
I
I was kind of
wish I
explaining this
had
to
that
my
good of a
mom.
plan.
I was explaining this to my mother, and she just laughed at
Yeah.
me. She's like, good luck with that, Hayden.
It's a
She's like,
great
"You'll never
direction,
be
so you at
ready."
least get momentum towards it.
Yeah.
But life is going to show you. I hope you get everything you want. But I'm
Yeah.
saying, like,
Yeah.
usually what we want in our minds isn't necessarily what we want,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't know that until we're shown another option.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
good on you for having that plan. Like, wow. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you probably already
Trying to
have the
plot the course.
names. You already have
Trying-
the color of the
we
hair
got the
picked out. Like,
names. We get
so
yeah, I know what color their eyes are going to be.
that visualization is powerful, and you've always had that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have this quick glimpse of the end, but I never have the full vision of what's going to take to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I'm just aiming for the end without
Mm-hmm.
the plan of how to get there. But you've got a good plan.
The lesson I've been trying to learn in life is just to let things flow a little bit more too, and just kind of acquiesce to the natural beauty of life and not be so regimented with all the things all the time. And I have to get up at 5 and I have to work out and I have to intermittent fast for 8 hours and I have to do my cold plunge and I'm not going to get on my phone until I've been awake for 3 hours. But first I have to walk barefoot in the grass and get natural sunlight in my eyes, like durka, 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 durka.
I think
And
that's good at a phase in everybody's life. Like you have to, maybe not all your life every day to be in the same regimen.
mm-hmm.
But I do think there's a time in your life when you have to walk barefoot, or you have to wake up at 5 a.m. and you have to do the workout gym and you have to do these things. So I don't discourage that for anyone who's in that phase right now. And I remember being in that phase when I was at work. I would go to the gym first. I went to work. I had everything done in an organized way.
dialed.
But then when you're like, I'm eating, but I'm not getting full. I wasn't getting satisfied in my heart. So sometimes being organized and filling out everything to the T isn't the goal. Everybody can pass a test, learn how to pass a test. So I do think you need to do those things to prepare, but you have to look for that thing that stands out of that pattern. And even if it takes you away from that, that's where you find your path. Is you're in this pattern, but you're able to flow out of it because you see something that attracts you. Now, my dad would say that's crazy. You're losing focus. You stay focused, stay on the path. And I think whatever you hear in a message is right for you.
Yeah.
Because at that time, there are people like that follow Dave Goggins and are doing 500 burpees a day and that kind of stuff. And hats
all
off
the crazy
to you guys.
stuff he says, like, don't be a bitch.
Yeah. So
like, wake up, run harder.
Good.
Be hard is what he says. Go hard or something. Yeah.
But I'm soft now, man. I'm like hot tubs and pedicures.
Oh, you're sailing off into the sunset,
There's
man.
$6 pedicures in Ecuador. What are you gonna do? I mean,
you're in the golden years early, dude. I gotta say, I've been trying to deal with the feelings of like jealousy and like seeing it and observing it and like, where is it coming from? And when I interact with guys like you, who you started your family early, right? And now you're like, your kids are all in their 20s and they're gone. And like, I don't have my family yet. And my jealousy is that like, I wish I'd started early. Like, I feel like I'm behind the 8 ball a little bit. So it's this balance of allowing life to evolve naturally. And I don't have regret. I don't want to give up the last 20 years of my life, which were amazing, pretty hedonistic. I had some wild times that maybe there were some accidents and some injuries, and maybe I kind of burned people a few times here or there in my life, and like try and say some prayers and make what's right in the world. But this next chapter, it's just so many unknowns, and I think that it's taken me this long to mature in a way, because for the longest time, I was a pretty serious hippie and pretty deep in the like far left liberal brainwash of like, there's too many people on the planet and I can't have kids because the world is overpopulated, and
I wonder what you thought of me
cow
showing up on your
farts are
foundation.
destroying the planet.
Meat
and,
eater with 3 kids showing up here.
I was strict vegan and I was a vegetarianist, and I would look down on my family because you're not saving the world because you're eating a burger. And now I'm like, okay, I've learned a lot more, first of all. And it's just really important for me to recognize that like I needed to go through all of that to like get to a place where like now I've really met an authentic true love, where it's like, oh, this woman has changed my perspective on the planet, on spirituality, on where I live in the universe. And the greatest adventure that I'm looking forward to now is like starting my own family and like what that's going to mean for me. And now that I've gained so much experience, I have so much knowledge, it's not that I have the analysis paralysis, but I'm really trying to plot the course like as well as I can, because I've seen so many people that have had so many amazing experiences like yourself, but a lot of hardship too, and like your kids, I wonder what their perspectives are. Like, was that all amazing for them? Do they love it? Or are some kids like, Dad, why did we do that?
I know what they'll tell me in my face, but I don't know. Let's see where it goes.
Yeah, exactly.
Not to stop where you're going with that, but it goes right back into that. Some people need to wake up at 5 a.m. Well, you're at the phase where I was at when I was showing up at your tent with young kids. I'm like, okay, what do I do? And you were an example for me on this opposite spectrum of where I was at. You're young, you're free, you're solo, you can do whatever the heck you want. You just disappear for 2 days. You show up whenever wow, I'm looking at that. Jealousy? You want to know about jealousy? You got to have 5 kids or 3 kids in a tent and then watch your friend shirtless working a farm and doing
working
the thing, Yeah, working the hoe. You're a good hoe worker. So yeah, it was but it's I think it's more of an anxiousness and a jealousy, because you see like, oh, I could do that. I know I could do that if I get the chance. Yeah. So you're now getting the chance, but I do think if I had a choice, I would have waited to prepare more financially, mentally, physically, spiritually, all these things. Glad I got thrown into the fire when I did, because, now I'm hanging out with my kids. My son's paragliding with me sometimes, and
awesome.
That kind of stuff. I don't know if you heard who did the Kilimanjaro thing. He was the youngest kid flying off Kilimanjaro.
That's right.
As a dad thing, like these are proud moments,
Yeah. Tell me more about that. The wings over Kilimanjaro, and you did it together?
Yeah. We did 2016 Wings of Kilimanjaro. We were the first group that flew off of legally with permission off the top of Kilimanjaro. And then
what's the altitude?
19,341.
Wow.
19,341.
And so that's a huge expedition to get to the summit too, right? Like
it is, but they did it first class style. Like we had porters carrying most of our stuff. They had soup waiting for us when we got there. And the last 2 days are definitely torture. The last night you're
hard
at
climb.
Midnight to 6 a.m. just middle of the night, dark, cold, miserable, water freezing.
Summit day is hard.
Yeah. But everything else was just a great adventure. So I did that.
Did you have oxygen?
They had a person with oxygen with us, but we took so long and we did that up and down thing. Yeah, we did like a week-long expedition up there. So you can do it faster. You'll need oxygen, but we did it where we didn't use it. I botched the very first one I did, though. So when I came back up, I'm like, give me some of that. And took some oxygen real quick.
Yeah.
And then so they asked us to come back 3 years later, or me to come back, or us as a group to come back. And I just joked around with my son, like, hey, would you want to be my passenger? Would you want to go? And at first he's like, no, it's my 18th birthday. I want to be with my friends, this and that.
Utah, I want to do something cool, Dad.
Yeah, I want to do something cool. What do I want to go to Africa for and climb a mountain? Anyway, so he, when I got home or actually I was in Colombia, and he called me and he said, can I do it? Is it too late? I'm like, well, we got to train, man. If you're going to do that, oh no, that's what he said. He wanted to fly on his own though.
You wanted to fly solo?
Yeah, you don't want to go Tana with me? You want to fly solo? And how am I saying no? Like I do all these things and I'm like,
yeah, you got to let him go. Yeah.
So that was that's another one where mom said yes. So that was the only way it worked out. He raised a bunch of money. We raised a bunch of money because we're raising money for a charity. They're going to raise $1 million to resurface water wells in Africa
Oh,
that
okay.
are in these villages where these kids usually have to take their livestock dozens, if not hundreds of miles away
Mm-hmm.
during the dry seasons to get
Mm-hmm.
water and then
Mm-hmm.
come back. And these are like 10, 12-year-old kids that are
Mm-hmm.
doing this.
Oh,
And
wow.
so now what they did is they built a school near the wells, and the kids would come bring their animals so they could feed, and they would go to school and then go back with the animals and water and the
Awesome.
education. So
Awesome.
really cool program.
Yeah.
Wings of
Good charity.
Kilimanjaro.
Yeah.
It was doing awesome. And so we went back for that and raised a bunch of money, went back, and yeah, he flew out. He was solo. He launched
Awesome.
before me,
Wow.
and the window was closing. I almost didn't get out of there.
Wow.
He got off. It's like an hour-long sled ride,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm on tandem. I tried to catch up to him by making my trimmers go out, which makes
Trying
it
to speed
glide
up.
faster.
Yeah.
But as soon as I got to him, I realized like there's no air up there, and I'm just going way faster than him.
Yeah.
So trying to keep up with him doing 360s, but it's going lower. So anyway, we have to fly over the rain clouds and over the rainforest clouds and
Mm-hmm.
get to this location so far away. And
Mm-hmm.
and he's never been on GPS. Our radios aren't working. It's
Oh,
just,
wow.
yeah, it was a nightmare. I'm like, I'm
I
the worst father in the
So
world.
scary. He's gonna die. He's gonna die. Oh,
We
I bet.
land, and I'm like, I'm the best.
Trista's gonna kill me.
Oh, the whole there was no. It was no happy. It wasn't. Everybody's like, "Was that the best flight of your life?" I'm like, "No,
You were
that was the most
puckered the whole
stressful
time.
flight of my life. Smooth flight. My passenger loved it. He was a photographer from New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
They got a great story out of it, but
Yeah.
I was nervous.
So, what is the vertical descent? At what altitude do you land at?
We landed at like 1,200 feet, so
What?
it was longer than an Everest descent. It was
18,000
yeah.
vertical descent.
Yeah.
Holy cow! I was going to ask if it was similar to flying Haleakala in Maui, because that's 10,000 to sea level. And something I always love about that flight and that I tell people is how you fly over all those different ecosystems.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you start on the summit of Haleakala, it's like you're on the moon. There's hardly any plant life, only like unique species of silver sword, this endemic plant that only lives in that place on Earth. And then you fly into kind of like the alpine terrain, and then you fly over like a redwood forest, and then you fly over like the cloud forest jungle. Sounds like Kilimanjaro is similar. And then you go over desert and you land on the beach. So is it like that in Kilimanjaro, like flying over all these different terrains before 1,200 feet? That's crazy.
Very much like that. And then when you land, because you were just on the summit, your hands were freezing. Everything's freezing. By the time you land, you're ripping everything off.
Oh, you're
not fast
sweating.
enough. It's so hot down there. It's Africa hot.
Africa.
Yeah, it's just hot and humid and muggy. But we had a designated school zone. They had a group there with tents. So as soon as we got there, we were in shade and that kind of thing. But yeah, it was definitely extremes in. You're up on Mars. You're flying over this amazing Superman glacier. It looks like Superman's house. You know, it's
glaciers.
All the top of Kilimanjaro is just ice crystal glaciers.
Very
just
cool.
amazing. And I was catching up with my son, so that second time I didn't ridge soar him, but you can almost ridge soar him for a little bit and then go out. And then the rainforest is just nothing but a blanket of clouds, so you don't really get to see anything. You just know you want to get high over the landing zone, and then you're over a bunch of cumies. And so I did get one little sneak thing when I saw the field was covered in cumies.
Yeah.
So I told the son, I'm like, follow me. And I came down doing a bunch of asymmetric spirals and just blew this cloud up. So he had a big clear window of the landing zone.
Follow me.
That was a good Father Day.
Yeah, definitely. Wow, very cool.
That one.
Does Zayden still fly much?
So we do the fly-ins. He loves the coastal flying. He actually came to Colombia after that. So I do the tours in Colombia. We do real XC for beginners. And I didn't want to coach him, so I gave him to Kevin McGinley. Shout out to Kevin McGinley. Thank you, Kevin. He took him under his wing, and that kid, like at the end of the day, you check on the radio, see who's still in the air. Zayden was always like the last one in the air.
Yeah, boy, top of the pack. Love that.
So it was good. And then in the fly-ins, he's been going and he flies, but I can tell like he's been working hard and he has other goals. And I think and he's living in a place where you don't fly a lot. So you can tell that he's thinking about it more. And when you think about it, it's not as enjoyable. You know, so I don't think he enjoys it as much as he did at first, but he's still doing it. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. He's still got it. He can still out-kite most people.
That's awesome. Well, he's got the great mentor. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Interesting. So when are the fly-ins?
So we just normally they've been right after Thanksgiving. And so we'll have a Thanksgiving dinner there and then, early December. So December 4th is going to be this year. And we set it up for 3 days of official flying, but people come a week or two early and they stay a week or two late.
Mm-hmm.
Afterwards, we do like a little decompression party at another spot. And then we are going to go to Quito and fly those other few spots that I found last year. So,
Oh, cool. So you do like a little tour.
it'll be like a month long. People can come in and out of wherever they want to. And,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
And I'm doing the tour. Like for me, I actually hire a guide. Like, there's a guy there that knows everything. He's been flying for 20 years.
Oh,
And,
great. You got
and
the
so,
on-site local.
mhm.
Is he Ecuadorian?
He is.
Oh,
He's
awesome.
full on. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Shout out to Juancho, by the way.
Yeah.
Juancho is in Quito. He's a guide and he's a mentor and instructor. He was actually helping a lot of the people with the hang gliding tours. And so
Mhm.
he knows everybody, all the roads. He has a nice car. And
Mhm.
and literally we show up and I'm treated like VIP. So I'm like, yes, I know how I want to be treated. So that's what we're doing
Yeah.
when people come. So we go to Quito, he takes care of us. And when
Mhm.
he's at the beach, we take care of him.
Mhm. How does like liability work down there? I'm so curious about just insurance for so many reasons because I'm getting into my own guiding practice now. I'm a registered Maine guide and I've been leading hunting trips. I have a recreation license as well. I'm going to get into like backpacking and doing those kinds of tours. And there's like so many layers of insurance policy and what you need and what you don't and what you get. And is it pretty loose down there or like, do the locals have something?
There's a yes and a no answer. I mean, it is fairly loose, but if you're a gringo and you cause a car accident, they want money.
Yeah.
And there are certain rules that you literally have to produce a certain amount of money right then and there, or you go to jail. So it is a percentage of monthly salary, whatever they make.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact rule to quote it. We do have attorneys that help us set up the hotel and all
That's
the
good.
visas and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And so I do understand it to a point of if I mess up, I'm liable and I'm probably going to get shut down for a certain amount of money.
Mhm.
The money is minuscule to the amount it would cost you in the United States if you get a parking ticket
Oh, yeah.
or any of these other things.
Yeah,
It's kind of like you pay for it's legal for a fee kind of a thing there.
Mhm, mhm.
But as far as the insurance goes, there are insurance like banks and credit unions are insured.
Mhm.
You've got to have a liability insurance. So again, if somebody does, if somebody gets really hurt or something like that. But the hospitals are actually general hospitals are free.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not expensive to get all these things in order. It's
Right.
very difficult to find the right information. There's no one website that you can just go log into. There's
Yeah.
not an office you can go into usually
So,
that does
like,
everything.
People that come to your hotel, you don't have some like bulletproof waiver for them so they don't sue you if they step on a nail or
The
something.
best way I found to protect myself from lawsuits is just be broke. Spend every penny you get, and they can't get anything.
There you go. Great
So
strategy.
it's works for me so far. In all reality, yes, you put the any sort of assets go into a trust, and the same kind of thing in Ecuador. You can put it in a community, so you don't want to own anything.
Mhm.
The main thing you own can't always be taken away from you.
Mhm. Mhm.
You want insurance, so that way if it
Mhm.
burns down, you can pay for it.
Mhm.
If somebody passes away, you can.
Mhm.
I'm learning all this stuff too because in early years of paragliding, it was just like, hey, let's just take somebody up flying, and then Yushpa comes in and is like, okay, well, you need all these different things, and
Mhm.
then you find out the insurance doesn't cover you, and then you go
Yeah.
through a lot of things as what is the law, and then besides the law, what is actually going to work,
Mhm.
and then what's your comfort level,
Mhm.
and that's honestly a lot of why I'm getting out of being the coach of paragliding and just saying, look, I just want to keep the towels fresh and the drinks flowing,
Yeah.
and that I've always loved that part of it,
Mhm.
and now that I've found the other side of responsibility, when you are responsible when something bad happens,
Mhm.
it's not a great feeling. It's not, and it's a powerless feeling. There's nothing you can do to change it or stop it.
Mhm.
So if you are the person in charge, unfortunately, that does rest on your shoulders. There's no way around that.
Mm.
And I don't think there's any bulletproof way to protect yourself.
Mhm.
But as long as you're not doing anything negligent or to hurt somebody or to do
Yeah.
anything on purpose,
Yeah.
I do believe that everything will kind of run its course. And let's say that you get sued, they
Mhm.
take all your money.
Yeah.
You
Somebody's gonna
got it
step on a nail.
once, you got to do it again.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
the money isn't the important thing. The families, the happiness, the safety, as much as you can. So yes, creating a safe environment. Like when we're in Colombia, we've got an EMT, we've got
Mm.
the hotel. We know where the hospitals are. The drivers have your
Yeah.
alarm. So we
Yeah.
we try to minimize it as much as possible. At the same time, we're jumping off of mountains in South America and other places. Like I can't tell you what's safe and what's not.
Yeah.
And I think what clicked is my daughter, all kids wanted to go skydiving when they were 18. When my daughter turned 18, we went jumping,
Mm-hmm.
and I landed, and I'm just like, I did it. I kind of had this relief of I got my kids to 18 years. None of them died. I even just threw them out of the plane. Nothing happened. So my responsibility level is done. I don't have to be responsible for anybody anymore.
Yeah.
That's not the case, but that's what the feeling was when
Totally.
I landed.
Yeah.
I was like, I did it. I won. I got
Weight
to
off
the end
your
of the game.
shoulders. Yeah.
And it turns out that that's a really good feeling. Not having that anxiety of worrying about somebody or worrying about taking care of somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'll ever get that moment again. That was only like 7 minutes that I had of that feeling, because of course right away, I mean,
bliss was short-lived.
like I said, my 20-year-old daughter is still at home.
Yeah,
It doesn't ever go away, and I love it. I love having a role there. But at the same time, I think that there's a time and place when you're ready to, right now, you're ready to be responsible for another human. You're going to have a baby. You're ready. You planned it out. I mean, you're ready.
Yeah.
Whereas now, I don't think I could even babysit for you. Like, so, I don't know if I could do it again.
No,
in other words,
thanks,
you know what I mean?
no, thanks.
We're always there for you. But at the same time, it's just everything is going in phases. And right now, I'm in the selfish phase where I want to host the party, but I want you guys to dance. I don't want to dance for you.
Yeah. I think it's a wonderful place to end it, man.
Cool.
Can I quote you on that again? You want to say it again? It's like, I want to host the party, but I want you guys to dance.
Yeah, I don't want to be the dance monkey anymore. I want to bring the environment where somebody comes in and they feel free enough to throw the dance, and we're dancing together.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the song and dance anymore.
There it is.
But
love it, man. Cheers.
Good to see you, brother.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, dude.